Okay, so it's quite late in the afternoon, and I am done with the project which you are going to see right now. Why I'm talking right now, that you will know at the end of the video. So you will have to watch this video till the end, and let's get started. So here is an old shoebox to which I'm going to alter now. First I need to mend this because this has got damage from the edges. So I'm going to use my Abro tape and I'm going to make sure that the edges have been finished off really well so that it does not come out, because we are going to put so much of effort in doing a makeover of this box. Now here I am going to seal up the edges really well, and you need to make sure that whichever tape you are using is really good and should not last long. Now Abro tape is something which I absolutely love. Why? Because it takes up all your colors and your mediums really well. So it's not like any of the plastic tapes which is not going to take up the color. So this is really good. Of course, I'm sharing down all the supplies linked down in the description box. You can check that. Now my cover is done, and now I need to make sure that the bottom part, the main box part, is also sealed up. So here I just need to make sure that the edges are good, because only on the edges I could see a little damaged part. So here I'm just sticking my Abro tape on the sides as well, and I'm going to make sure that I do it for all the four sides of the box. Now if you have already taken a box which is of really good quality, you really don't have to do this, but this was a very old box, so I had to do this mending work to this cardboard box. And I think this is really important because, like I said, we are going to do so much of hard work, so of course this box should last long. Now once I am done with this, then we are moving on to the next step. Now here what I have is my DIY white gesso. Now here I am adding some colors to it. So I'm going to add my blue color, brown color, red color and my orange color. Now you can choose any of the shades you want to add to your gesso. You can even use a black gesso. You can even just do a brown chalk paint, and or you can mix up any of the colors you want. I absolutely love using different colors to my gesso. So here I have picked up these 3-4 shades which I'm going to mix well until I get a very desired shade of the color. So I was looking for actually something very vintagey, very wooden finish. So this shade actually worked out really well when I added my orange to it. So the orange is not the regular orange, it was a neon orange, so definitely it added some more extra shine to my colors. Now, like I said, I'm going to do something of very rustic, very leatherish, or very vintage theme finish, as I mentioned earlier. So that's the reason I wanted to have a nice darker brown shade, but of course not the acrylic colors. So that's the reason I have added everything to my gesso right now. So yes, you will see me cleaning my table. So I have this phobia of cleaning my table regularly. So yeah, I think it's a very good habit to clean up your surface wherever you are working, so that later on the cleaning process become easier. Now with a flat brush, I am going to spread my color really well on my complete base. Now this is a very important step. You need to make sure that you apply generous amount of paint, and make sure that you cover each and every inch and corner and nicks and knacks of the boxes. Now I am going to do 2 coats of my paint here, but if you want you can do 1 coat or even the 3 coats. It depends on what kind of look and feel you are looking for. Now honestly this 1 layer was sufficient, but as I said, I want this box to last longer. So of course the more number of layers I work with it, it is going to add some strength to this box, which is really important. If you are going to use this on a regular basis, of course the chances of getting damage becomes much more higher. So yeah, that's the only reason I added 2 coats of paints. And of course the color of the background changes really well when you do good 2 coats of your prepping up your base, either be it the white gesso or the black gesso or the color gesso. It works really well. So if you are new to my channel, do check out a video where I have shown you that why white color background is important for decoupage, and why having a different color then your decoupage napkins is really important to pop out and to highlight your decoupage napkin designs. Now in this project I am not going to use any of the napkins, but I wanted to use a pattern paper. So I recently bought some of the beautiful pattern paper packs, and I absolutely loved it. They are so versatile, like with the same paper I have done a Christmas bunting video, and then I have done a beautiful tag making, and then now I'm making this particular vintage and leather finish box. So yes, I always look up for the papers and the supplies which are versatile, which I can use in different projects. So this was one of them. Now once my color is dried out completely, then we are going to use our pattern paper. Now this is the paper which I was talking about, and of course I'm not sure by the time you watch this video, the Christmas bunting video is already there on my channel. If it's not there, then definitely it is going to come out really soon, so do stay tuned to my channel. Now here I am very good with the fussy cutting work, so I just thought I don't need any trimmers right now, so I just very quickly cut this shape of the top lid with my scissors. And as you have seen that I just marked it with the pencil, and I'm cutting this with my scissors, and this was really quick. Now I am using a pattern paper, but if you want, you can always go for the rice papers, for the decoupage tissues, for the prints, for the magazine cutouts, anything and everything you want. Now here, whenever you are working on the lid, make sure either it is of the perfect shape of your lid or it is a little smaller than your lid size. Otherwise the edges of the papers are going to get damaged, and that is going to ruin your project completely. So please just be aware of that. Now for sticking this, I am going to use my Mod Podge, and this is one of my favorite decoupage glue which I love using for my projects. So this is such a versatile supply which I even use for my mixed media projects. I even use this for my decoupage projects, and I love sticking any of my embellishments, my decoupage napkins, my papers with this. Now when I'm sticking my pattern paper, I will have to be a little careful, because usually what happens when you are working with a cardboard and you apply a layer of adhesive, then you stick a layer of paper. So cardboard has a tendency to absorb the moisture, so it is just going to make sure that you have some of the bubbles out there, some of the wrinkles out there. So you will have to be a little careful when you are pressing up your papers. Now once I was happy with my paper sticking and everything, then I'm going to seal this up with a varnish. This is a very important step which I personally like doing it. Why? Because it always makes sure that the color blending becomes easier on any kind of pattern paper. Yes, this was the quick tip for the day. Now of course Transfer Me is something which I have been crazily doing for some time, so I thought of doing this on my vintage box too. And these collection have such amazing and versatile pieces which you can use with varieties of bases. So here I have taken a cardboard piece, and on the top of it I have sticked it. Now this was not with the dipping in the water. What I did is I just removed the plastic film, sticked it directly to my cardboard piece, and then added some water, and now I'm just going to remove my upper film, and this will be ready. And ta-da! This is almost done. I just need to very neatly, very smoothly slide it, and it came out really well. Now you should never ever use your heat gun on your Transfer Me directly, so I just did a very quick heat gun from the back side, and then I'm going to fussy cut this. And yes, if you want, you can do the fussy cutting work earlier just to make your work a little faster, but even this also worked out really well for me. Now here I have taken a cardboard piece. If you want, you can play around with the MDF cutouts also, it's absolutely fine. It's just that whatever is available with you, you can do your crafting with that. There is no rule that you have to buy. Of course, there are a few of the basic things like your Mod Podge, your gesso, your decoupage glue, and your some good quality papers, and of course the base has to have some good strength. Now of course color blending is something which I love doing, and that's what I'm doing right now. So here I just wanted to give this a very rustic and a very natural look. So I'm just adding a tinge of acrylic brown color. I always add water to it because it gives a very nice natural look to your project, but if you want, you can chuck this part and do a dark color on the top of it, or otherwise you can color your base first and then stick your Transfer Me sheets. It's absolutely fine. End of the day, if you are happy with the look and feel of your project, you can absolutely do that. Okay, so here I am just going to add some more shades on the sides and make the edges a little more bearful, and yes, of course I will try to blend in the color as much as I can, and then I'm going to keep this aside to dry out. So now my box top layer has dried out completely and it's time to blend in some of the colors. So yes, the paper is looking very much in contrast with the shade. So what I did is I have picked up the same colored gesso which I had used for my base, and I'm going to just dab excessive colors with my fingers. If you want, you can use your sponge topper. If you want, you can use your paint brushes. It's absolutely fine. I love this technique because this gives a very natural, very rustic look to your project, and definitely it gives a very blended effect to your project. Now it's up to you what kind of look and feel you are looking for, but I personally like this way of crafting. So like I always say, each and every person has their own way of crafting. Each and every person has their own way of using the colors, and it's the same color, but two different artists are going to use that in a complete different way. So there's nothing right or wrong. It's just about how you want it, how you like it, and what is your style of crafting. So as you can see, it is looking so messy right now, but do not worry, at the end you will see that how beautiful this projects look. And of course, I think at the starting of the video you had already seen the box which I might have flaunted. I don't know right now. So here, once I'm happy with my color blending work, I'm just going to make sure that I do not leave too much of patches here. And yes, once this is done, I need to make sure that it dries out well. Once I'm sure that this has dried out well, I am going to stick my main center motif on the top of it. Now for sticking that, I am going to have my liquid adhesive. If you want, you can use your tacky tapes. If you want, you can use your glue drops or any of the mediums. So yes, background stamping is really important. So here I am doing my script stamping. This is one of my favorite stamp from Massive Store. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to list down all the supplies linked down in the description box for you to buy. Another quick tip, whenever you are doing your mixed media or your decoupage projects, always use your permanent ink pad. Do not use any of the dye based ink pads because they just leave the color the moment they are in touch with the water or any of the other colors. So here my lid stamping work is done, and very quickly I'm going to do the stamping work on the base of the box also. As I have mentioned earlier also that I want to make this in a one complete theme. So yes, this is very important. So Massive also has come up with some of the very beautiful checkered and the triangle stamps. If you want, you can use that also, and they definitely add some more dimensions to your project. And yes, like I always say, the stampings are something so versatile supplies which can be used with your chalk pens also, your ink pads also, your paints also, and they are so good to go for any of your projects. So here my box with the lid and the stamping work is done, and now it's time to add some vintage look to it. So here I have taken a cardboard piece. Now this was something really interesting which I did after a very long time. So I'm just folding these strips into halves, and then I'm going to stick this at the edges of my box. Now before sticking these to my boxes, I'm going to use the same gesso color which I had used for my base color. You need to make sure that your base color and the rest of the box color is same, because otherwise it's just going to look a lot of mixed match. And that's the reason at the starting of the video, when I had to color up the gesso with my desired color, I did some extra coloring, and I know I did too much of color mix, and don't worry, I am going to use it for the later of my projects, and very soon you're going to see so many projects on my channel. So here just coloring it up with my flat brush, and yes, I'm going to make sure that I let this dry, and I can even use my heat gun to dry this up quickly. Now again, just in case if you have not checked my video on how heat gun is different from any of the hair dryers, do check that on my channel. It's there, and that's a video which is really helpful if you are a beginner and if you don't know that why heat gun is used and what is the difference between a heat gun and a hair dryer. So that's really important, and do check that. That is going to be of really great help. Now for sticking these strips, I was really confused on which mediums to use, and then finally I decided to use my tacky tapes. These are one of the best tapes which you can use for your projects. So very easy it is. Just stick it at the back side, which is the sticking part. You have to stick to your base and peel off the red tape plastic strip, and your adhesive layer is going to be there on the top of it. stick that directly to your base. Now this is something which is very easy, very quick. I love using these for my scrapbooks, my tag making, my card making projects, and they work beautifully. So see, the sticking of these bands are so easy and so simple. I just felt that I should have done this before doing my stamping work, but then it's absolutely fine because the kind of work we are going to do on the top of it, it's not a very big part which is visible. But if you are doing this, try to do this band part first and then do your stamping part. That is going to really help. So my box looks really good, and now I need to do some coloring work here. So I have decided to use my brown acrylic paint and just a brush of work. This is just going to make sure that I have done enough of my color blending for the leather and the vintage mixed look on my box. Now wherever I feel that I need to add a little more brighter shade, I add red color. Wherever I feel that I need to add a little darker shade, I always try to use black color with my brown color. So this is such a very good combination. You just need to play around with the red color or the black color, and the brown color changes so beautifully that you will not even realize that it was the same brown color which you had used for any of your other projects. Now for this blending dry brushing technique, I am going to use a fan brush, and do not use water for this technique. Yes, you heard me right. I have been telling this on almost all my color blending videos that do not use wet brushes for your dry brushing technique. It has to be dry, it has to be old, it has to have a little hard bristles so that it leaves some marks on your surface. That gives it much more natural and a beautiful look. So I'm going to repeat this process for my complete box on, and each and every corner is going to have this color. Now what this color does is this actually highlights the corners and the edges and the nicks and nuts of the boxes. So if you like, here I have just done one stripping work on the lid of the box. You can do the same at the bottom of the box, and just to highlight it, you don't have to do a contrast color, just do a little dry brushing technique and it works out beautifully. Now I wanted this box to be a little colorful, a little brightful, vintage but a little brightful. That's why I am using red color with my brown. If you want, you can go for the black color with the brown color. That is also going to give a little darker but a very nice shade of vintage. So yes, I have been asked many a times, can we use acrylic colors in mixed media? Can we blend chalk paints and acrylic paints? Honestly, I have seen very few people blending acrylic paints with chalk paints, but I have been doing this for quite some time now, and the results are really good, which I love doing on almost all kind of my projects. So it's time to do my vintage hook sticking work. So of course I had to blend this because this was looking very lighter. So I thought of doing my brown with the same red color, and of course I added some of the same gesso which we did on the base, and you can see that how beautiful the color of my tag is changing. So like I said, if you want, you can do this coloring work first and then use a transfer me, but I wanted to have a very old leather vintage-ish look, so that's the reason I thought of doing this later on. And trust me, even this looks so beautiful and so amazing. Now I'm just trying to make sure that the edges have a good color and the edges are a little darker, and once I'm happy with it, then I'm going to stick this with my liquid adhesive, and I'm going to make sure that it sticks well because it should not come out at all. So yeah, now this is done and this looks actually beautiful. I know today I had some of the lighting issues because earlier it was a little lighter outside, then it started raining, so the color of my video is looking so darker. I know it is not looking that great, but yeah, it was manageable for me. Now here I have taken up the same gesso and I am just using a dry brush. So while I started painting, I realized that my brush is not that dry, so I had to clean my brush again and again just to make sure that there are no excessive water. And I'm just highlighting the edges of my hook which I have sticked on the top of it, and I'm going to do the same dry brushing technique with the same gesso which I had used on my base. Now you might be feeling why I'm doing this gesso work again and again. So when you are working on any of the shabby projects, it becomes very difficult to understand at one go that yes, this is looking good. At least this happens with me. So like it is always said that making a neat and clean project is easy, making a shabby project is a difficult task. So now here I have some of the very nice metal buttons which I'm going to stick on the edges bands where we had done. So this is going to give it a nice old vintage button looks to my project, and I'm going to have this on all the four corners of my bands. Now if you don't have the metal buttons, what you can do is you can take any of the plastic buttons or any of the round embellishments and do a bit of coloring to it matching to your base, and then you can stick it. So yeah, this is easier, this is not a difficult part. You just need to make sure that you stick your base with your embellishments really well. So here I am using my glue drop. If you want, you can even use your liquid adhesive or your gel medium. They are going to work out beautifully. So especially with the glue drops, I feel that they are very handy, they are very easy to use, and they are very quick. Like you do not have to wait for it to dry out or for it to stick or anything. Just peel it off, stick your buttons, and you are done. So my cap is already looking beautiful, and now this is a very quick step where I just did my white stitching line on my boxes. Now here is one mistake what I did. So when I started doing it, I just did it with the white color. I thought I'm going to leave it as white color as it is, but then later on I start realizing that maybe I should have lightened the white tone of this. But don't worry, later on I'm going to do again the brown brushing work to blend this. But if you are doing this white thread technique, then what you can do is you can add a tinge of brown to it, and it will be just perfect for having all your stitching look to your project. Now make sure you try to have the stitching size as same as possible. I know I have speeded up this process because this took a lot of time, but trust me, this is such a satisfying process of doing this stitching work. I absolutely love doing this, and it actually changes the look and feel of your project so beautifully. So yes, for this you will need a very thin brush. I even saw someone doing this with a white pen, a white gel pen or the white marker, but I personally feel that the brush and the paint gives a more natural and a more vintagey look to your base. Now I'll be repeating the same for the top lid also, and I'm also going to give a border to my center hook, the Transfer Me, what we have done. And yes, this is actually looking very gorgeous. I am very proud of myself that I did this project. Now, like I said, if you are adding a tinge of brown to your white, you don't have to do the color blending, but I did not add any color to it. So very quickly, I just dried it up with my my heat gun. Yeah, my heat gun, and then I just added a tinge of brownish red to my white stitching pattern what I did, and this was even looking better. This was even looking beautiful, and I'm absolutely in awe stuck with this one. Now once I am done with this, then I need to dry this up really well so that we can seal this one completely. And yes, of course, Vanya was here to help me out with the drying process, and yes, then we were also doing some varnish work. And yes, sealing your project is really important. Make sure you seal your project. Now here I'm using my water-based varnish, and I will be having at least 2 to 3 coats of varnish because we are going to use this on a regular basis. So of course it needs some extra protection from us. So yes, make sure after you apply all the layers of varnish, you let it dry for 1 day, and then you apply the next coat of varnish. So once I'm done with this, I am just going to let this dry. Then I will do my second coat, then my third coat, and we are done. Okay, so with this my project is done and it's looking fab, and I just wanted to show you of my own. And yeah, this is ready. This looks absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And yes, why I wanted to tell you and come in the camera and tell you that how much time it took me. So what you see on the screen is actually just 15-20 minutes or maximum 30 minutes of a video. But I've been doing this video since morning. I think I started at 10:30. Of course, I took some breaks for my preparing my lunch, having my evening coffee, and it's 3:30. I have just finished making this one, and it's looking fab. So yeah, many a times I've been asked that, oh, it's so easy to make a video. Why do you take so much of time in posting them? Why do you post the videos after months? So it's not that video making is easy. It takes a hell lot of time. You need to decide on a theme. You need to work on a project. Then you need to prepare everything, make a video, editing, photo clicking. I know I'm extremely bad with photo clicking, but these are the things which we have to do, and I do everything of my own. So it takes a lot of time. And what are these? These are the post-it notes which has the list of things which I have to do. This was written by Vanya. So one day she was helping me out, and that's when we had done all those writing work. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little chit chat here, and I hope you all like this video. And yes, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you do not miss out on any of the updates. Of course, I'm listing down all the supplies down in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.